School's back in session now, and you're probably wondering whether your child's going to learn their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Well, did you know there's a new version of the alphabet song that's causing quite a controversy? You're about to hear what happens when they accidentally change the new alphabet. And it's a controversial than Beyonce. Take a look.
For nearly 200 years, generations of youngsters have sung the alphabet song like this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But now the internet is divided after a new version of the classic song was revealed. Something some kids have always struggled with. The new version's ending is different too.
I heard it. It sounds ridiculous.
It's ignited a firestorm.
The elemental P is a problem.
This is what I'm saying.
What is going on?
I don't know today.
They took away elemental P, and it feels illegal.
We went to Good Shepherd Catholic School in Beverly Hills, where the kids sang the new version for us.
H-I-K-K-L-M-N. Good.
I like it.
But not everyone agrees.
The old song was like fine.
As a teacher, do you think that the new version is better?
I actually do. Each note gets a letter, and so it's way clearer for the kids.
You think if we were to sing this right now for the very first time, you think it would be controversial? All right. I'm not. That's how we do it. A, B, C, D. Nah, hold on. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. That's how it is. That's how it's been for over 200 decades. But this new one is causing quite a controversy. Other than the old popular the Beyonce song, which they ripped off of Franklin. You see, controversial music it's not like education. Just something you can pick up with a 6-string and write a song about without stealing rhythms. But getting off topic here, nobody knows what it's like to just try to change the lyrics. It's been like that for over 200 decades. We don't need to be changing the alphabet. It's controversial. Stop trying to change it. Elemental P wasn't even that bad. Most people weren't confused with it, said it wasn't like the last effect. That mixed up nursery rhymes now. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna make a honky tonk country version of "I'm a Little Teapot." If we were to do a country song about little nursery country song about "I'm a Little Teapot," it'd be like this. I'm a little teapot to step in to George Jones and Luke Combs. Or Brad and Carrie had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Brad and Carrie had a little lamb, and they went honky tonkin'. You see what I mean? We change all these controversial songs. That's exactly what's going on. It's nursery rhyme ripoff, for crying out loud. We don't need all that nursery rhyme ripoff. Here's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna, it's gonna be something like this. Don't you dare steal that from Craig Morgan. He's one of my favorite artists. You get what I mean. We don't need people ripping off old nursery rhymes like Mary Had a Little Lamb or, I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Keep it the way it is. Keep it simple. If you want to use everything for yourself, just knock your lights out. Make sure you take credit for it. And as for that ABC controversial, don't change it. It's been like that for over 200 years. And all of a sudden you're going to think, oh, I'm not going to have him sing the LMNOP. And what's going to be next? You're going to laugh at that and go, HIJKLMNOP. It ain't funny then, and it ain't funny now. How would your students score on tests? And even then, it would be cause for celebration. Come up, we're going to take you to a school in Houston, to one principal and one superintendent would say, and even one teacher that would say things like, call him racist, and even a principal would say he's trying to do what's best for the child. Please stay with us. Every school has what's called a closed campus. Basically, it means that students are not allowed to leave campus at any time during the school day. And with the first day of school, I bet many people are going to be getting in their cars and going to the food places. We're going to introduce you to three people in 2 different schools. They really have a different view about how they feel about the school lunch. Let's take you to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, to John Marshall High School, where their closed campus rule is students are not allowed to leave campus at any time during the school day. Let's take a look.
At John Marshall High School, we have a closed campus. Students cannot leave campus at any time during the school day. Today, 2 students were sent to my office because the teacher caught them walking up the hallway with McDonald's.
I don't never get in trouble, really. I'm a good student. I don't get in trouble a lot.
So, how'd you get McDonald's?
A friend bought it for me.
Okay. Who is the friend?
Tell you that.
You can either tell me how all of this came about, or I can run video back and I can figure it out for myself. Now, the more work I put into it, the more different the consequence is going to be.
I don't think we should be in trouble because, we was trying to get something, we was hungry.
Tell me what drives you to this.
I don't got no food.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm a big girl. I want to eat like some fried chicken, red beans, neck bone, shrimp. I'm sorry, but
Right.
it's just the hell. But like, I get some, food over here.
Right.
I'll stay. I'm big. I want to eat. I want to get some McDonald's, some A&W, some Long John Silver, some something. I want no salad, no dressing. That's nasty. I want to eat that. And then the milk, it don't taste right.
As a result of your bringing food on campus illegally, you just gave me lunch.
I don't think that's right, because I want my food myself. Because if you're going to eat my food, you're going to pay me $6.
I don't think I necessarily want the French fries, but the fish, well, that will work.
I'm hungry. He ain't take my food like that. She paid for that, and I wanted to eat it.
Now, I'm going to assign both of you to Saturday school for the next 2 Saturdays. Ladies, to class.
Hey, can I have this?
That's fine.
Thanks.
I knew that taking their food would teach them a lesson because 1, they spent money and they got nothing in return. 2, I figured they'd be just a little bit hungry.
Peace.
It's her fault that we got caught, so I think Autumn should take all the blame and not me. Whatever. I'm about to punch in your face. Do it.
That's the whole bottom line here. I get that you're hungry. You're hungry. You want to freaking eat some McDonald's, some A&W, some Long John Silver's. I get that. Look, when I first went to school, when I was in high school, we had Domino's right across the street from the school. We also had a taco stand right next to the apartments. And right across the street from the taco stand, there was a Dollar General. It's so obvious these days that nobody understood what the hell closed campus meant. Basically, it means that you're not allowed to leave campus at any time during the school day unless you had written permission from the school district. Page 22 of the student code of the handbook says that too. That's the high school handbook. Now here's another one. She thinks, oh, I'm going to leave campus because the food's disgusting. Only in Willows Point, Texas.
Quickly, get it out of the hall! My style of discipline is to be fair and to treat all students the same. But the kids also know that when they break the rules and do it on a consistent basis, that I'm going to be real tough. That's the sprinkler, isn't it? Yeah.
The twin can be scary and intimidating. That's only if you deserve it. He's never just scary for no reason.
No way, no how are students allowed to leave campus to go to lunch in town. Now, right now, I'm going to meet with a student that left school to go eat lunch without permission, and so I've got to meet with her and find out why she did that and let her know that that's unacceptable. All right.
What'd I do this time?
Well, what do you think you did?
I'm not gonna guess.
You're not going to guess?
No, I don't want to guess wrong.
Do you think you've done more than one thing wrong?
I don't want to guess something that y'all don't know about.
Chrissy doesn't hide the truth. If you ask her a direct question, she will give you a direct answer. You started to leave campus to go to the grocery store.
Correct.
Correct, okay. Well, just tell me what happened, honey.
I was gonna go get some food. The lunch food's disgusting. Like they serve like, it looks like cat food, literally. Like they serve nachos with the meat, and it looks like cat food, like something I wouldn't even feed my cat though.
You know you're not supposed to do that, correct?
You should have somewhere where someone's consigned something so you know who's leaving and who's not. Cause I'd be totally down for that.
That means everybody going to run to their cars
Right.
and get to the food places, and that's a safety issue for us. We don't want anybody hurt. Have you eaten cafeteria food before?
Yeah,
You
I have.
have? Okay.
And I didn't come to school for a
And
couple
so
of
we're
days
clear.
because I was so sick.
Okay, so we're clear. Yes, sir, instead of yeah, okay?
Yes,
All right,
sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you have eaten and you couldn't come to school for a couple of days because you were sick?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And you're certain it was cafeteria food that made you sick?
I didn't eat anything else. I had to stay home for a couple of days, and I couldn't even figure out what it was. And I thought, what did I eat? Cafeteria food. Ding ding, light bulb. So I stopped eating it ever since. I'd rather starve than eat cafeteria food.
But you eat at home?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do.
What we're gonna do?
We'll let you work in the cafeteria to see what goes on. How's that sound?
I'm not gonna fix cat food for everybody.
You can just help them in the cafeteria and see what they do and see how they do it with what they have to work with. Is that good with you?
Not really, but okay.
Okay, well, we'll do it anyway because I think you'll find a whole new appreciation for what goes on. Maybe not. Maybe not.
It's gonna be interesting.
It sounds very interesting to me. Let's try it and see.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. But I want an assurance from you that you're not going to leave campus again.
Scouts honor.
Scouts honor? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Don't leave campus again, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Go to class, baby. I don't think she'll leave campus to eat again.
Bye.
Bye-bye. If she tells you she won't, I believe her, and I don't think she will.
I'm not gonna skip lunch again, but I'm still not gonna eat the cafeteria food because it's gross. Disgusts me. I think I'm gonna puke right now, actually thinking about it.
That's what you get. This is what you get. This is what you get. Learn your lesson. Never leave campus to get food. Unless you're full of baloney. So what's the third one? This person thinks, well, I'm gonna go skip lunch and eat a bologna sandwich. Say, hey, I'm gonna leave school, go to my friend's house, eat a sandwich, and I won't be able to get away with it. Well, you thought wrong, buddy. Yes, got called by the principal. Take a look.
That's John. Hey, John. What are you doing? Where are you going? We are responsible for our students here during the school day. It could cause major problems if they leave school without permission. Get up here right now.
I thought I was gonna get away with skipping. When I walked in and saw Miss Ballinger, I was just like, oh crap.
What were you up to? Were you smoking? Were you... What were you guys doing?
Eating a sandwich and drinking some soda.
You cannot leave school grounds without permission. I was very, very upset about John taking off from school like that. Come on in, John. Close the door. Have a seat. So as I go around the hallway, I looked out the window, and who did I see coming across the school grounds?
I don't know, who did you see?
Now you're being a wise guy. If there's issues, then I'm calling your dad and I'm gonna let him know. Why were you outside?
I just went to my friend's house to get a sandwich and some soda.
You eat lunch here. You don't leave school grounds, John.
I just had a bologna sandwich.
Who's your friend? You want to tell me who it is so I can write his name down?
It's not the issue.
This is not the time to get wise.
All right.
John, why would you leave school to have lunch with a friend?
Because the school lunch sucks.
You've been eating that lunch since September. Why all of a sudden today it sucks?
I didn't want school lunch bread that's been sitting in a bag on a shelf for like 2 months.
It's very, very dangerous for kids to leave these grounds. We are
It's
responsible.
not dangerous. I go around the city all the time.
Well, we are responsible for you between 7:15 and 2 o'clock. You're going to have 2 days in the in-school suspension room.
2 days?
I'm going to call your father.
You don't have to call my father. It's just between me and you. He doesn't have anything to do with it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's the last thing you need to say to me, John. Hello, Mr. Stroud. Mrs. Ballinger. John left school, went to a friend's house, and I caught him trying to sneak back on. It is against our policy, and John knows that we're very strict about students leaving school. He's just doing what he wants to do around here, and it's not a good thing.
She called my dad up, so now I'm probably gonna be grounded for like 3 or 4 weeks, which is like, just sucks.
All right, I'll tell him to be on the bus straight home. I got it. Okay. You too. Bye-bye. All right, John. There you go.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And you know, that's something that baffles me. Why do schools need to call parents to let them know what the heck's going on? We're going to answer that question for you next. Don't go away. I've often heard this phrase, if you don't do what I tell you to do, I'm going to call your mom. If I see that again, I'm going to call your dad. Or principals are calling parents because of their behavior. And you know, why is that? Basically because to let the child know, let the parent know what their child is doing. It's like this. Hey, is this the parent? This and this? Hey, this is so-and-so. I just want to let you know your son's in trouble for this, that, and the third. That's just basically how it is. When parents get the phone call from the school, it wouldn't be, I mean, that's what happens. You get a referral from the school, they can call your parents. For discipline purposes, the school has to call the parents, let them know that, hey, your child got in trouble in school because, you know, he threw a paper airplane when he wasn't supposed to, or he mouthed off to a teacher. even when you're innocent, being a nice, innocent child, just sits up here and says, okay, well,
I was talking to Daniel.
I didn't even do anything. Right.
I have a low tolerance for any student that attempts to threaten a teacher verbally or physically. It is not acceptable, and they'll be dealt with as such. Good morning, LaRon.
I got a referral. A couple teachers said I was threatening her or something like that.
When I first read LaRon's referral, I wasn't really shocked. I've had a few run-ins with him about his insubordination in the past. Read this.
When told I would have to call his parents concerning his behavior, LaRon got out of his seat and told the class, "You go on, call mama. She gonna come down here and whip your..." It was it.
Nope.
Oh. LaRon left the classroom without permission.
Tell me what happened.
Nah, we was chilling.
Y'all were chilling.
Yeah. We be chilling.
Were you working?
Yeah, we was working. Like, after I'm done, she was like, to make sure your name on it, so I put my name on it. I tried to pass it up. She was like, no, I'm not taking it up. She was like, you always gotta be the last one.
What the referral says is you got up, made a scene, told the class, call my mama. She want to come down here and whoop your ass.
I didn't even say that to that girl.
She's not a girl. She's a woman. She's your teacher. You need to respect her as such. She was visibly upset. She was extremely disappointed in the way your behavior has changed. You can't threaten my teachers that way. What gives you the right to talk to any teacher that way? Why would you talk to an adult that way? Help me understand why you think it's okay to talk to an adult that way.
Talk what way? Being a nice, innocent child?
Absolutely not.
I ain't say all that. I don't know what she talking about.
I'm gonna ask Ms. Bagley to come down here so then we'll discuss it.
Why?
It was obvious to me that LaRon was lying to my face. So I wanted to call his teacher down just to get her version of the events that happened. Good morning, Ms. Bagley. How are you?
Good,
Thank you for joining us. We were discussing LaRon's behavior in your class. I just wanted to make sure that we get a full scope of what happened so we can get to the bottom of it.
Okay. 9:20. LaRon's been there for 20 minutes. No warm-up. No pencil. LaRon, where's your pencil? Don't have a pencil. Get a pencil. Don't have a pencil. Get a pencil. So we had the whole pencil thing. LaRon and I had no relationship. He passed me at lunchtime. He gave me the finger. LaRon's talking to Bria. LaRon's talking to Hannah. LaRon's talking to Tribeca. LaRon's talking to Daniel. LaRon's not doing the warm-up. And in the process, nobody else is doing their warm-up.
Right.
And I said, LaRon, just come on. Meet me outside. We're just gonna have to go call somebody. And that's when you stood up and announced to the whole class. Yeah, you go ahead and call my mama. My mama said you call her again, she's gonna come down here and whip your ass.
Ooh. That's not what happened. Oh, I didn't say anything.
LaRon, come on. I don't appreciate the what your mama's gonna do to me.
Man, see, that be tripping, man. See, that's trying to play me.
LaRon and I won't really have a working relationship. And it will probably be a struggle until the end of the semester.
When she's speaking to you, you need to be respectful. Is that clear? Is that clear?
I'm being respectful.
Is that clear? Yes or no? Answer the question.
I don't know.
LaRon, you know you should be suspended, right?
What would you say?
You know you should be suspended for this.
For what?
You disrespected her and you disrupted her class. So as a result of that, you been suspended.
She about to turn the furrow in on me, you know what I'm saying?
You done? Yeah. Let me know when you're done.
When I changed my class, started doing good. She tried to play me, tried to bring me back now.
Why are you still talking?
Trying to rise to the top and she trying to bring me back down.
Nobody's talking to you.
Man, it's messed up.
You done. Here you go. Have a good day.
LaRon received a few days of in-school suspension where he'll have an opportunity to reflect on some of the things that he did and the decisions that he made and how he could have handled that situation differently.
You're going to call my mama. My mama said you call her and she's going to come that way and whoop your ass. I tell you what. Whoa. Who gives you the right as a student to talk to a teacher like that? If I was back at school and I threatened a teacher like that, you know what would have happened to me? I would have gotten out of school suspension. But you see, here's the thing. Out of school suspension basically means to them it's a straight phone call on the parents saying your child's suspended because blah 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 blah. And it's like, do we get suspended from school? I'm taking away your Xbox, your TV. You ain't doing nothing but cracking them books. Get to study. The students is like, yay, party, 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 party. In-school suspension just means you're sitting in a room. You sit in a room. You sit in a room. You're doing your classwork. That's the difference between in-school suspension and out-of-school suspension. And even think you're an athlete, even because you're an athlete, because you think you're a cheerleader, you think you can just throw something at them and you'll just get away with it. That's not what happened to this student. Watch.
I've got a sophomore girl who just got upset with another student and threw something at his face. We got a referral here that you're throwing a binder in class.
Yeah. It really wasn't a big deal, Miss Hampton.
You can't be throwing stuff in class.
It's not a big binder. It's not. It just look at this. It's not that big. No.
Jamaica, it is a big binder, and definitely could have hurt you.
I wasn't really throwing it. It was just like, like, here. It's from like not even that far away. From like me to you. Not even me to you. Like way closer.
Where was he sitting? Across from you?
Front.
One seat ahead of you?
No, two.
2 seats. So you zing it up past another student and then hits him?
Yeah.
If you look at the policy here for assault, it's going to be out of school suspension.
Out of school suspension?
Could be.
Miss Hampton, I have a game tonight. Cheerleading is really important to me. I mean, I have a huge game tonight, and if I can't cheer, I'm letting down my whole squad.
You can't be throwing stuff in class, I mean, especially binders. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go half a day of in-school suspension, and I'm going to take the cheer away this evening.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why?
If it hits him just right, all of a sudden he's off to the emergency room, and then we're having a whole different conversation here. Don't let it happen again. Thank you. Cheerleaders are athletes and are really held to a very high standard, and they're supposed to have a very positive influence within our student body, and that greatly disappointed me.
I have a game tonight. Cheerleading is very important to me. It does not matter. Cheerleading is a privilege. It ain't your right. That's exactly what I said. These two comments 4 years ago. Extracurricular activities like sports and cheerleading and football are privilege and a right. And the principal or vice principal has the right to take away the privilege. And I sit there and said, you might think cheerleading is your right, but it's not. It's called a privilege. Not your right, a privilege. And the principal does have the authority to take it away or remove you. Remove you from it. Which is exactly what happened in this next one. This student decided to make out with... This student wasn't banned. You know what he did? the unthinkable. Excuse me, the unthinkable. I'll let the principal explain.
Last Friday at the football game, a parent came to me and identified Bryce as a student that he saw in the boys' bathroom with the young lady, and they were making out, kissing.
You wanted to talk to me?
Mm-hmm. What I've been looking to talk about is the Alba football game last Friday.
What about it?
I had a parent come to me and identified you and another student, the young lady, being in the men's bathroom kissing.
I see that. Well, I was with the band during the game.
I would never do anything to jeopardize being in the band. I mean, I really like it. It gets me through the day, it gets me through school, and it makes it funner.
Well, let me read something to you, and then I want you to respond to it and tell me what you think. What Bryce does not know is that I have a written confession from the young lady that he was making out with in the bathroom. I admit we were kissing, but nothing else happened. I will accept my punishment because I wasn't supposed to be in the boys' bathroom.
She's dreaming.
So she's dreaming and the parents dreaming too.
Have you seen her? I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I would not kiss on her.
So the parent just misidentified you.
I think this is a case of mistaken identity because it wasn't me in the bathroom, and people will get mistaken every day for another person.
You have a band uniform on, so that narrows the number down even further.
It's very easy to get me confused with other band members because we all wear the same uniform.
All I'm saying is it wasn't me, and it possibly could have been somebody else.
Bryce, I clearly know how the drum line is situated. You definitely don't look like Smurf. You definitely don't look like Quentin. You definitely don't look like Chase. And you definitely don't look like Larry.
Right. I mean, there's no reason for me to lie.
So that's your story and you're sticking to it. Okay. Well, in the face of all of the evidence, my story is that this young lady is telling the truth. Parent is telling the truth. So who's gonna win that battle?
Not me.
The consequence is going to be that I'm just going to remove you from the band indefinitely. Now, if you will head to fourth period, I'm going to let you move on with your day, and I've got some other things I need to do. I like Bryce a lot. He just needs to take ownership for what he did.
Damn right. Damn right. You know what? Don't jeopardize yourself to remove you from the band. That's the whole bottom line here. That's the whole bottom line. Don't jeopardize anything that would get you removed from the thing. I mean, we focus in on a bunch of things. We focus on school rights, drug testing. I mean, that's a whole different. That's gonna be on a Friday. As we're seeing our back to school month. As we're gonna put an end to our back to school month on a Friday. And believe me, probably ain't gonna like students' rights. Next, you think these students would test so well and score so well be cause for celebration. You may be surprised by the district and the principal are treated like outcasts. Chris Wallace takes you to Houston. Stay with us. Well, back in 1991, there was a study that was released by former Secretary of Education Lamar Alexander. A study released at that time showed that a quarter of all high school seniors couldn't correctly add up a cost of soup, a hamburger, and a soda. A third of all students couldn't do 7th grade math. Tonight we're going to take you to a school that really meets the criteria. That really meets the criteria and has the students test so well you think it would be a cause for celebration. But as you're about to see, the kids and the principal are being treated like outcasts. Here's Chris Wallace.
7:30 a.m. at Houston's Wesley Elementary School. Principal Thaddeus Lott, as he has for the past 16 years, is making sure things run his way.
Watch where you're going, get on at 9.
Wesley is old and overcrowded. Students 95% black and 99% poor. But if you have any preconceptions about inner-city schools, check them at the door. Everywhere Lott takes you in his school, there's a surprise.
Geography in kindergarten?
Get it.
No, not at all.
For instance, Miss Kinney's kindergarten class, where 5-year-olds recite all 50 states without looking at a map.
You're doing this from memory. I'm not sure I could do this.
You find children doing special work in every classroom. These first graders are doing third grade math, starting to multiply by 9. These fifth graders read Shakespeare and Steinbeck, and compare and contrast.
This is about a wife and a man.
Over the past decade, Wesley has been one of Houston's best performing schools. In 1988, it ranked in the top quarter of all elementary schools in Texas, with children consistently doing work up to 2 years ahead of their grade level. What makes this so remarkable is that Wesley sits in one of Houston's toughest neighborhoods, Acres Home. But Thaddeus Lott has lived here all his 57 years, and he says whatever goes on outside of school, there's no reason his students must fail. You ask a lot of the children here, don't you?
Yes. I believe that children can do a lot. Once you get them into a setting where they feel like they can and they know that you believe in them and you have faith in them, then they rise to the occasion.
Potato, what word is? Potato. Spell the whole word is?
In Mrs. Alexander's first grade class, you see the Lott method. Teachers actively engaging children in rapid-fire drills, lots of repetition, and grading every day in every subject. These children are learning to break down words into sounds and syllables.
Now, how many do you hear?
I hear 3 vowel sounds and words on my tongue.
It may look like these children are learning, but Houston school administrators don't think so. They consider this kind of teaching old-fashioned, with too much memorization and too little independent creative thinking. But Lott has thrown out the official curriculum, saying that for these children, his system works.
It says A is.
They're going over vowel sounds, they're going over combinations of vowel sounds. We're plugging them into a system that I'll guarantee at the end of the year, this youngster will be reading.
Wesley students seem genuinely excited about what they're accomplishing. You like working hard in school?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's fun learning and reading, because reading helps you all the way through your life.
The Wesley School would seem to be a classic success story, a model of how much inner-city children can achieve. Which is why what's happened here the last few years is so puzzling. Because far from being the toast of the Houston School District, Thaddeus Lott and his teachers say they have been undercut at every turn.
They're hostile to Wesley. They're hostile to the building principal.
Gail Fallon, who runs the Houston Teachers Federation, says school bureaucrats have declared war on Thaddeus Lott because he ignores their guidelines. She says resentment is so deep at district headquarters that for years, officials there have accused the school of cheating to get its strong test scores.
We've had them come in and say, we think they're cheating at Wesley. Can you find out how they're doing it?
Just that directly?
Just that directly. They're not subtle about it.
District officials have investigated Wesley repeatedly in recent years, but no cheating has ever been found.
I was in tears because I was upset. I didn't know what was going on.
First grade teacher India Williams was involved in the latest incident a few weeks ago, when 2 officials from the Houston School District walked into her classroom and accused her of feeding answers to her students on a national test. They searched her classroom for hours, but found nothing.
I didn't know these people. I had never done anything. And I was just, singled out.
Why the suspicion?
I think they suspect them because they are poor black children. And because in the mindset in the administration, they don't believe poor black children can outperform suburban white children, and they are doing it, and they are doing it routinely.
Ms. Fallon, you're making a very serious charge.
Right.
You're basically accusing the school district, the top administrators, of racism.
Yes. I think probably racism of the worst kind. You know, it's not even conscious racism. It's a racism of lowering your expectations for minority students.
It's totally fallacious. It's absolutely not true.
Dr. Joan Raymond has been Houston's superintendent of schools since 1986. She strongly rejects the charge of racism and insists Wesley School has never been undercut.
This administration is committed to the improvement of education for all children, and particularly minority children, and the record stands on its own. Mr. Lott has been very, very highly supported by this administration. Absolutely.
But don't tell that to parents in Acres Home, who say they've had enough of the harassment and suspicion from district headquarters.
It's not the first time. They have accused this school of cheating before. But when they come out about the teachers, that was the last straw.
The community even voiced its anger in church.
We understand that they would rather the best schools be in an affluent area. But the bottom line is, gold is gold. I don't care where you find it, even if it's an Acres Home.
Thaddeus Lott says he too is getting fed up with administrators who don't believe poor black children can succeed.
There are people like this in every big city throughout this country who feel like if you're doing what we're doing, even though it works, it doesn't matter. It's just against their philosophy.
Thinking caps on.
And these people have no place. They should not be making a salary at the expense of these youngsters who will ultimately wind up illiterate. And that's what's happening all over this country.
Lott says it's more than just the allegations of cheating, that the bureaucrats have picked on Wesley for years. These kindergarten students write every day in workbooks. The school district complained they were using too much paper.
And how about the capital of Illinois?
And remember those kids learning their states? Well, the maps were provided by a private donor because the bureaucrats won't pay for them. According to the official supply list, children this young don't need maps.
I have no idea what you're talking about. And I am totally unaware of any curriculum anywhere that says maps cannot be used.
But we showed Dr. Raymond a copy of the school district guidelines.
School supply list. It says, no maps below the 3rd grade.
I don't need to look here. I'm simply telling you that there is a curriculum in place. I don't even support that kind of a statement, and I don't even know why it's in there.
More than 100 Houston schools get help from corporate sponsors provided by the school district. In some cases, thousands of dollars in money and supplies. But for some reason, Wesley has been shut out of that program.
How many companies have you sent to the Wesley School?
I don't know the answer to your question.
What if I told you the answer was 0?
Well, I guess I'll just have to ask Miss Staff why. And I guess we'll also have to ask why there probably has been no request coming in from the school.
In fact, the school has repeatedly requested a business sponsor without success. Last year, Houston's Tax Research Association, the government watchdog group, went around the school district straight to Wesley.
They needed help. They needed some immediate help.
George Scott says his group raised $10,000 for the school to buy paper and workbooks and maps. And he says he sent a blunt warning to the school district, backing Wesley's principal.
You better stop messing with this man. He has powerful friends now, and we want people like Thaddeus Lott to be able to educate the children and to have the support which they deserve.
First word, your turn, and say
Despite all of this, Superintendent Raymond maintains she's well aware of the remarkable work children do at Wesley, work that's been praised on the front pages of Houston's newspapers. And she maintains she has a good relationship with the principal.
He likes to do things his own way, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Some people say I like to do things my own way, too. That's why we get along so well.
You do get along well.
Sure, absolutely. I'm a big supporter of Thaddeus.
Up until October 1990, she had never been to the school.
She had been the superintendent here for 4 years, and she'd never come to visit Wesley?
No.
Why did it take you 4 years to set foot in the school?
Well, there's absolutely no answer to that. I can assure you that it was not deliberate. Time does fly when you're in a job like this.
Didn't you ever just want to go over and pat them on the back and frankly see how their program works?
Well, he has been patted on the back a lot.
I know that's not what she really thinks. That's not what she says privately about Mr. Lott. She said, oh, he's just a clown. He's looking for a promotion. It's not real. That SOB is doing nothing but trying to move up in the system.
She has said that?
Yes.
That's not so. That's absolutely not so. I have not ever made such a statement. That's simply not true.
What's certainly true is that the school district doesn't think much of Lott. Almost every week, out-of-town educators come to study his school. But the Houston School District has never asked him to train its teachers, and never, in 16 years, offered him a promotion.
I'm going to say that if I were another color, I wouldn't be sitting here for 16 years, not even 5, having done what we've done. Call it whatever you want to.
If you were white, the response to you would have been different.
Yes.
In Acres Homes, Lott has become a symbol of the anger people feel here. Anger towards highly paid bureaucrats who refuse to believe in their children.
Children who are thought not to be able to achieve can blow your mind because God has given every one of us a brain. And brains are not white like a brown.
And so Thaddeus Lott intends to stay on at Wesley School, continuing to ignore the administrators downtown and to teach his students his way.
We have too many people who have low expectations of children. Too many people who really don't think that children in a setting like this even have the brains or ability to learn.
And what is the truth about those kids?
The truth about them is that they can learn. And that's what we're proving.
A final note. Next Monday is Dr. Joan Raymond's last day as Houston School Superintendent. She was forced to resign over a variety of issues not directly related to the Wesley School. So far, no replacement has been named, and a lot of Wesley supporters don't think this necessarily means that the school's troubles are over.
Well, the school troubles are not over yet. They're not over because of what's going on. So basically, this is what needs to happen here. Stuff has got to be done. We'll never know. I'll be back in a moment. Finally tonight, it's now that time again, at back to school time. And now we're going to hear from one superintendent, one school district, talking about the top concerns ahead of that new school year. From Pearland ISD, the superintendent's name is Larry Berger. And as you're about to hear, there are these top concerns about from money to staffing. So what are the concerns that parents are talking about? Here's Mayor Grady.
New concern. So new school year, new concerns and questions from parents from our annual back to school survey, and you've been so great to sit down with us for multiple years now. So let's hop right into it.
Let's go.
65% of the back to school survey participants shared they have financial concerns headed into the new school year. Where and how can the school district help, or how are you receiving that information?
Yeah, I mean, just like the school district, we're in a budget crunch with everything that's going on with inflation, and so are the families, and we're aware of that. So as a school district, we have an outreach department that is what they focus on. They work on attendance, but it's really outreach because there's lots of barriers that are financially related. Maybe they don't have school supplies. Maybe they can't get their immunizations. Maybe they can't get clothes. And that's what that department does. In conjunction with our counseling department, our health service department, we are constantly reaching out, making sure that, hey, whatever barriers you have, we want to support that because we need you to be a school to teach you, and we don't want the finances to keep you from that. And we are fortunate in Pearland ISD that we have a great community. We have an organization that meets at Pearland ISD called United for Kids. It's every nonprofit in the Brazoria County area that comes together, and they sit down and go, what can we do to help our families? If they had a fire, or if they can't pay their rent, or if their bill is behind, or if they got evicted, or whatever it may be, we all sit there and we determine what needs do we have and who can take care of them. The community is always stepping up. I had a church reach out to me just recently and said, hey, after the hurricane, I understand people's groceries are a problem. Can we do a grocery drive? Okay, let's do a grocery drive. And so we figured out where we were going to do it. We reached out to the community. They showed up, had bags and bags of groceries. All you had to do was drive by. We put the groceries in your car. Have a great day. That's what happens in Pearland. And so I understand the issues that families have, and we are constantly looking how we can remove any barriers related to financial need.
You said that outreach department is usually focused on attendance. Is there a parallel there between attendance and financial hardships?
Yeah, a direct parallel. A lot of times when students can't come to school, that maybe they can't get to the doctor, maybe they can't get their immunizations, or they can't get the school clothes or the supplies, and so maybe either embarrassment or time plays a part to where they don't come to school. So anytime we can remove that barrier, we can get them in school.
With finances a big concern, we had one parent ask, when are teachers going to get pay raises?
Well, they've gotten them. Our board over the last 2 years have given a total of 6% general pay increase. We also did something called equity adjustments, where we looked at some equity payments that weren't the same or needed to increase in certain pay ranges, especially our paraprofessionals. Our special education paraprofessionals that service our life skills students and our BSI students and our inclusion students, we wanted to make sure that they were compensated appropriately because they do a lot of work in the classroom and we wanted to take care of them. And our board stepped up for that. Something else our board did this year is they look at the insurance rates. You know, we give over 2 years a 6% general pay increase, but then insurance goes up 9%. Well, we just wiped out that pay increase. And so there's not a lot we can do about that. But our board stepped up and said, hey, can we contribute more to the employee compensation or the employee part of the insurance process to reduce that for our employees? And they did that as well. Now, while it's never enough, and I hope the state of Texas and the legislature steps up and says, hey, we're going to help this out, but we definitely in Pearland ISD, like I said, over the past 2 years, 6%.
Do you foresee that increasing, or is that all dependent on the state?
It's all dependent on budget. I mean, human resources payroll is 86% of our budget. So when you talk about a 2% raise, you're talking about millions and millions of dollars. And we are very tight on our budget. Pearland ISD is fortunate that we have managed our finances very well. We've gotten support from our community. We passed a VADR, and we also passed a bond that's helped us with our general operating budget. So we're not in a deficit budget right now. But if we don't get some relief, if that basic allotment doesn't get addressed, or we get some allotments fixed for special education or emergent bilingual, we're going to be back in a deficit budget. So we definitely need the legislature to realize that all students need support, and it starts with money.
Let's switch it up and talk about the classroom.
Let's go.
Do you have enough teachers this school year? And do you have a greater need in some areas of study or needs than others?
I was worried about that because last year there was a little bit, the talent pool, as you may say, for teachers. Who wants to be a teacher? Nobody's coming. This year we've kind of had a great talent pool, and early we had more teachers coming in when our job fair was happening. All of our departments, we have great teachers coming in. We have a plethora to choose from, where before in some of our classes there may be one, well now we have 3, 4, or 5 to choose from. Doesn't mean all of the holes have been filled, still special programs. When we have teachers that need to work in a life skills program, that is very difficult because you may be dealing with all types of medical issues, behavior issues, instructional issues. So that is where we're seeing our deficit right now. So anybody that wants to be a life skills teacher and make an impactful change for those students, please come to Pearland ISD. But for the most part, we are staffed. We are taken care of. Where we do have some deficits or vacancies, we have long-term subs in place.
It's interesting because in talking to the different school districts, most seem to have that shortage or that need in the special needs category and with your paraprofessionals that would be working with special needs children. Why do you think the pool of candidates is better this year? Because we were hearing from so many different school districts that there were challenges there with the hiring pool. Why do you think suddenly this year it's better?
Well, one, we did give some pay raises, but I'd like to think it's the culture in Pearland ISD. When teachers are looking around and can be selective because they are in high demand and high need, they look at the districts they want to work at. And I take it as a badge of honor of what our principals are doing and what our campuses are doing and the support of our community, that when they say, where do I want to work? I'd like to work in Pearland ISD. When we welcomed 160 new teachers, and I'm not talking 0 year, that could be 0 year to multiple years, I told them, thank you for choosing us. Because you didn't have to. You could have worked anywhere. And we're going to make sure that that trust you're giving us by coming to work here, we're going to repay it. We're going to make sure that you feel supported and taken care of, and this is going to be a great place to work.
Similar to last year, when we visited, we had questions and concerns expressed in the survey responses about students' behavior and discipline and behavioral problems in regard to being disruptive to other students in the classroom. A parent says in the survey the current approach isn't working. Your response?
My response is I don't disagree with them. And some of that is we get focused on the individual student behavior and want to deal with discipline. How is that student going to be punished? Well, that's the end game. The behavior's already happened. The students already, their mode of operation. We have to get in front of that. So as a district, we are working on a culture and an approach to where we set expectations. We have some non-negotiables going around where we talk about success is not an accident. Set the tone, make sure that all the expectations are known. Relationships matter. You have to make relationships with those students to know what they are, who they are, and what they need to help curtail those behaviors. We have to have a fresh start. I may be in the classroom on Monday and had a bad day. You don't know why I had a bad day. Well, don't hold that against me on Tuesday because you're setting me up for failure. And then the last thing is to make sure that you are present and aware of what is going on in the classroom at all times and have consistency. So we're working with our teachers and our administrators to work on positive culture. And that way when the students come in, that's what greets them. When they're greeted at the door with a hello or a high five and they come in and they're allowed to make mistakes, it can curtail some of those frustrations. But behavior is still going to happen and we have to address it. So we are putting in place consistency across the board. We have talked in the cabinet level or the upper administration level. We have to have tightly held beliefs and loosely held beliefs. And behavior kind of got loose because we had grace after COVID and it just carried on. You want to talk about long COVID? Talk about the behavior school had after COVID. We just didn't want to let it go. But we got to get back to some accountability. We got to get back to holding students accountable for their behavior, teachers are accountable for their classroom management, and parents accountable. And once we're all on the same page, we can address those behaviors more effectively.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a little bit more preventative as well. There's the accountability side of it, but the preventative
We got to
side
get in front of it. We can't always be reactive. We have to get in front and teach those expectations. We talked about this in our training just today. If a student is in the classroom and struggling to read, you don't kick them out. You teach them how to read. If a student's in the classroom struggling how to behave, we kick them out. Let's teach them how to behave. We're educators.
So this is interesting. Books continue to be a subject of interest.
We hope so.
And one survey participant wants to know what steps are schools, Pearland schools, taking to ensure students have access to all books?
Access to all books. Well, we haven't closed libraries. Libraries still apparent. I think what you're leaning on is when people want to ban books for maybe their content.
Yes.
Well, us, like every school district, has a process for that. So if a parent or a community member or even a student is like, hey, I think this book is inappropriate, they can have an informal complaint or a formal complaint, and we'll go through a review process. Pearland ISD have had 0 of those. We've had no formal complaints on books. Our librarians do a very good job of curating the need for all students, but they also look at the appropriateness of it. Because you can have a book that talks about any subject matter in an appropriate way, or you can have a book that talks about it in an inappropriate way. So it's not necessarily the subject matter, but it's the content we want to make sure is not too inappropriate. And so I give kudos to our librarians and our supervisors over the librarians over how they get the collections into the library. And then we have processes in place because some of the material is a little bit more adult. When you're in a high school and you have a 9th grader and you have a 12th grader, there's a lot of maturity in between there. And so some of the books are in different locations or in different places, and parents can go onto our system and they can tag and say, I don't want my kid to have this book. No problem. So we give the parent the power. You can tell us right away, that book can stay in your library, but don't let my kid have it.
When you say you've had 0 complaints for books,
0 formal complaints to remove a book.
and are you saying for the past couple of school years, or since these mandates have been put in place by the state?
Since it's become a topic in the political atmosphere and all that is happening, we have had no formal, our board, I may get the years wrong, 3 years ago did a review of the process when the law had changed. And since that review of the process and policy, no formal complaints have come in.
Let's talk safety. That's always top of mind with every year with the survey. Parents want to know in Pearland, how are you going to ensure the safety of students and staff on each and every campus?
We're going to build on the success that we have. From 2016, Pearland was kind of ahead of the game. When we passed a bond, we did a lot of hardening of our schools. We did the safety glass and the vestibules and the numbering and the radios controls. And so we're a little bit ahead of the game. If you know, TEA does audits. They're coming through and they're doing intruder audits and building door audits and a walk around the campus. 23 campuses, 100% compliance, 0 findings. We want to build on that. We just hired a new executive director of Safe and Secure Schools, Mr. Palumbo. He's come on board. He's working on standard safety protocols. He's reviewing everything that we're doing to make sure we're effective. In September, we're going to have a district vulnerability assessment. We want TEA to come in as part of TEA's process and look at everything that we do and where are we vulnerable. We think we're good, but we could be missing some stuff. We always want to be better.
Is the district inviting them to come, or is that part of their annual assessment?
It's a mandatory. It's new this year, and so we are going to meet with the team, and then we're going to go over what the district vulnerability assessment is, and they're going to come in September and be with us for about 3 days, visit our campuses, visit our classrooms, talk to teachers, administrators, parents, and students, and then give us an assessment of This is where we see your strengths, and this is where we see your issues, and how we can fix these. And that's the only way we can continue to get better. We can't rest. Safety is everybody's job. It's our students' jobs, it's our teachers' jobs, it's our parents' jobs. Second week of school, we do a drill week, because you have all these drills. You have a fire drill, and a lockdown drill, and a hole drill, and all of these standard protocols. So the first week or the second week of school, every campus does drill week. We let the parents know so there's no fear. We teach the kids what this drill is. And when we continue to practice them through the year, they have that mental muscle that when the drill happens and it's a crisis, we know what we're doing. We know what we're expecting.
I know safety is on everyone to conduct and make sure that all is well, but what about the Pearland ISD police force? Do you have enough officers, and what does it look like per campus?
Well, yes and no. We have enough officers, but in our SRO program, the law was passed where we have to have an armed officer at every campus. Well, the funding didn't come back with that. We got about $500,000 in additional funding, but it's about a $3.5 million bill to get officers on every campus. We have a great working relationship with the Pearland PD. So all of our junior highs through high school have an officer stationed on the campus. Then we've worked out a rotation to where the off-duty officers sign up and they rotate through the campuses. So they're not necessarily part of our SRO program, but the patrol officers go to our schools to make sure that the safety protocols are all taking place and we have an armed officer on campus. So yes, we do have enough Pearland Police Department, but I would love to bring all of those officers onto our SRO program and make them part of our family. It's just right now we don't have the funding to do that.
I mean, is it practically impossible if you don't have the funds from the state to be able to provide those officers at every single campus?
Not only is it impossible if you don't have the funds, because, like I just said, budget is difficult, but the officers aren't there because there aren't a plethora of officers sitting around going, please hire me. I mean, I talked to the city, and to onboard the officers that we need would take them multiple years because there's a process and there's not a great pool of police officers that want to be police officers that are out there.
Another parent wants to know about district zoning. Why do some students bypass one campus, basically travel past one campus to get to another? Why not the school that's in the closest proximity?
Some of that had to do with the growth of Pearland. When Pearland was smaller and then we had a booming growth, kind of like Alvin ISD is going now. And then as the schools were brought in, gerrymander is not the right word, but how they cut out the zones, it was like that. Because you would build this school and then it would grow around it and you couldn't overpopulate this, and so then this campus had to go this way, and so there was some cross-sectioning. Through the years we had done some rezoning, but that, outside of active shooter, is the worst word you can say in public education. I'm going to rezone your school. I'm going to move you from here to go over there. So we still work with zoning aspects. Some part to help with that is we're an open transfer district. So if you are next to a school that is open, but you are zoned to a school down the road, you can ask or fill out the application to be transferred to that school, as long as it isn't above 92% capacity. And most of our schools right now are open for transfer.
So really it sounds like some of this is about having growing pains,
It
right?
was.
Yeah.
And then once those lines are set, it's real hard to change them. It's real hard to manipulate those lines. I went through a rezoning because we had a campus that was way over populated, and I worked with the community, but no matter what you throw out there, you're moving me from my school. So my child has been here 2 years and now you're making them go somewhere else. It's never fun for the parent.
Really difficult. So what's new for students this school year at the start of 2024?
What's new? Well, I hope what's new for them is they're excited to come to school. What I hope what's new for them is when they walk into the building, they feel like it's their building, that it's their school, it's their culture, that they are going to come in. We talk about building Pearland proud, and we talk about the how and the why. Well, the why are the kids. We have lots of to-do lists. We have lots of things we need to do, but the number one thing are students and their growth and success, and I hope that they realize that and feel that, and they have a supportive environment. They have at least one adult in the building that they can go talk to. You talked about safety. That's a big part of it. If there is something going on in your life, have that adult you can go speak with. Or if you see something, have that adult you feel comfortable going to say something to. And that's what I hope is new for them when they come in, that they are excited to be at school, as excited as the superintendent is for the first day of school. I think I said it last time. I like adults, but I love kids. And so when they come back, that's when the magic comes back in our building.
What gives you hope in looking at a new school year and new opportunities?
That gives me hope? My community, our community. The Pearland ISD community, what we have. I mean, the people that are in ESC, the people that are on the campuses, the initiatives that we are rolling out. Like I said, I just had convocation, and there's a slogan that's been around in Pearland for a long time. It's called the Pearland Way. And sometimes tradition can be motivational, but sometimes tradition can hold you back. Because we've always done it that way, why don't we keep doing it that way? What I'm hopeful for and what I see in the power of the community that we have is that they see that we need to change. Our demographics are changing, our students are changing, our teacher needs are changing. So as a district, we need to change. And change is scary, and change is difficult. But they're like, Mr. Berger, we're behind you. We know what our students need, we see who our students are. Let's make this happen. So we're rolling out ideas like instructional coaching that we haven't had before, to where we have instructional coaches on the campus. We're starting at the elementary level. Let's get in the classroom to support our new teachers. Let's get in the classroom to support our students just in time. Not when the STAR test comes out, it's too late, that's an autopsy. Let's get in there before the negative stuff happens. We have a curriculum audit that we did, a deficit audit. We have been an A campus, an A district for a long time. So people ask, why are you looking for things that are wrong? Because we can't get better unless we know what's wrong. If we think we're better than we are, we're not doing service for our kids. We ask them to get better every day. We have to get better every day. And the hope that I have is that my team is behind me, because I can't do anything by myself. I'm just a superintendent. I sometimes call myself the mascot of the district. The work happens with my team, and it happens with our community.
I've heard a lot of good, and what's the biggest challenge for Pearland ISD?
The biggest challenge for us, I think, is the same thing that's happening across the district. I can talk about the state. I can talk about the negativity that is coming out, the fear of what the new legislation is going to be for what has happened. You know, is vouchers going to roll out? Are we going to lose funding? Are we going to get more funding? How is teacher retention going to happen? Some of the changes that have happened with dyslexia now moving to special programs, and the evaluations that have increased, and the costs that have increased associated with that. And like we just talked, we don't have the teachers. So the needs are growing, but the funding is not, and the morale is not 100%. While we had teachers come to us, they still ask, we need a little bit more. And so I always worry, what's that breaking point? What's that breaking point for us, and how do we make sure that we are supporting our teachers? We are giving our students what we need, what they need, and we're building trust with our community. And so that's my biggest thing, is getting our community together to make sure that we are supporting and have belief in public education and belief in Pearland ISD.
So as the mascot of the district, do you have a message for students this year, a specific message for students this year?
My specific message for students is always, be who you are, show who you are, and be prepared to take care of whatever opportunity, whatever challenge comes your way. When you're in the classroom, you may not think what you're learning is important, but learn it, because you never know what's coming. So you have a dream and you have a goal inside of you, and what we are trying to do is give you the skills you don't even know you need, so you're successful and you can be successful in that. And when you are successful, come back and tell me about
it. And you'll be cheering.
100%.
That's great.
Great inspiration. Very great. That's all for now. I'm John the Carmody. Thanks for watching.